you know, martial law, or what are those things called that you have to be in by a certain time? Curfews, you know. I've even heard that they're going to have to, you're going to have to show a bracelet that you've got the swine flu shot to get on an airplane. You know, yeah, things, not yet. We haven't done that yet because I've been flying all over. But, so all these, like, enemies that don't wear uniforms, you know, that don't belong in a geographic area that they're telling us to be afraid of, is what they use to put more and more oppressions on us. So anyway, we have to start taking back our power in a very subversive, nonviolent way. And to me, that's joining together in community. Colonel Lieutenant Dr. Bowman will tell you about his community banks, which I think is a fabulous strategy. In California, we're trying to get something passed for a state bank. North Dakota is the only state of the union that has a state bank, and they're one of the only states that aren't in a deficit situation. There's only 2 states in this country that are not in a deficit situation. My state, California, is sometimes the 7th, 8th, 9th largest economy in the world. We're $26 billion in the hole. We've lost tens of thousands of jobs and services, and when we asked for a bailout, we were told, no, if we bailed you out, if we bailed California out, we'll have to bail all the states out. And I'm like, well, bail all the states out. You know, if you bail all the states out, that's $1.1 trillion. If they can print, you know, if they can print up to now $12 trillion to bail out the financial industries, why can't we have $1.1 trillion to bail the states out? You know what? That would save jobs. That would save services. That would help us in the robbed class. So if AIG is too big to fail, how come California is not too big to fail?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm talking about. We say we need something, they say we don't have the money. The robber class says we need something, they say where can we send the check? You know, or where can we hit the computer keys? Give us your email address, we'll send you $16 billion. So our subversive revolution is a revolution of what Martin Luther King Jr. called a revolution of values. We really need to revolutionize our values in this country. One of the reasons this is happening is because we in the robbed class are codependent with the robber class. Is that they can only steal things from us because we let them. You know, we don't put our collective foot down and say, no more are we going to finance your fabulous homes, your fabulous vacations, your chauffeurs, your nannies, your whatever, while we're struggling just to make ends meet. Why do we do this? You know, in America for the last a couple decades at least, we've only had the appearance of prosperity. We haven't had prosperity. You know why we only have the appearance? Because everything we own is bought on credit. You know, and what are we doing when we buy things on credit? We're enriching the robber class. And we're hurting ourselves, literally hurting ourselves. So we need to turn the TVs off. We need to not be co-opted by this consumerism, this materialism that says we can't do with one TV, we have to have a TV in every room. You know, we can't ride a bus, we have to have a car. We can't, you know, we can't have a home that is big enough for ourselves and our possessions. We have to have, you know, thousands of square feet. You know, we can't just make do. That's not American. That's un-American just to make do. So we have to have a revolution of values within ourselves, but then we have to realize that it's a communal activity. That there are communities in this country that are very successfully using something called community script. They're very successfully having community gardens, having cooperatives, like free trade, really free markets, where you go and you leave something and you pick something up, where you go to you know, patronize a local merchant, not a, you know, a big multi global I'm just going to say at Walmart. I'm just going to say Walmart. Because, Walmart is part, I call it the Walmartization of America. You send the good jobs overseas, and you have everything manufactured overseas, so it can be cheaper to sell, and you can make a bigger profit margin, but you only pay your people who work for you. You pay the people who make your products like $3 a day, and the people who work for you get minimum wage and no benefits. So, patronize local merchants, people who give back to the community. Take your money out of big banks, the banks for profit like B of A and Chase and, all of those people that have literally been raping and pillaging this country for a long time. And put them in community, local credit unions that invest in your community, that are not for profit, that actually are made up by people on the boards that are your community, your neighbors, make up the boards of most credit unions. So investigate ways on how we can work together, because I feel like I'm having a front row seat. I have a front row seat to the collapse of this U.S. military empire. It's got to collapse. If we keep on this trajectory, it will collapse, because there's never been an empire that hasn't. Afghanistan. If we stay in Afghanistan, if we send one more troop to Afghanistan, if we stay one more year, our empire is in danger of collapsing, just like the USSR did after their 10 years in Afghanistan. All empires crumble. Tell me one empire that hasn't, except for Great Britain that voluntarily gave up their empire. It's a historical fact. So we're here on the front row seat of watching this happen. But I don't want it to crumble on me. I don't want it to crumble on you. I don't want it to crumble on the people of the world, like John and I were talking. The people of this world, they're all subjects of the U.S. military empire. So how can we stop it from collapsing on us? And that's only by taking back our resources and our power, and building strong families and building strong communities that are going to resist the crumble of the empire. So the way I travel around the country spreading this message, and it's not an easy message. It's not easy to talk about. It's not easy to hear. But oftentimes the truth is not easy.